today in this section, in this webinar, we are going to introduce some advanced construction. So how to do the complex designs of the floor, wall, and the ceiling. And here I have picked 4 popular designs, and we will use them as the example. So hopefully I can show you how to use the tools, how to get the logic and of each of the functions. So you will be able to create your very own design with all the different tools. So let's check these pictures one by one. So the first one, in the first picture, we will talk about the floor design. So we know that with Coohom 2, if you use the drag and drop function, you can apply a different texture to the whole floor, right? But sometimes we may have the room divided into 2 parts or even 3, 4 parts, and you can apply them with different textures. And like the one in the first picture. So how to apply 2 different floorings to 1 room, and how to make a step here and together with the last strip, right? So that is the, for the first picture, the first case, we will solve the problem. And for the second one, you will see sometimes it's very popular to use the tiles or the stones for the floor. So not always the wooden floor. And how to pave the tiles, and how to add the wave line on the tiles. So that is for picture 2. So both picture 1 and picture 2, we will talk about the addition for the floor, the design for the floor. Okay. So number 3 is about the ceiling. How to get a beautiful suspended ceiling like this. How to draw the rectangle shape. How to draw the shape in the center, in the middle, right? Like the one without the angles. So, and how to place all these little downlights. That is for picture 3, something we will try to figure out. And the last one is for the wall design. So you can see in most of the living room and the bedroom, and we will have a very beautiful background wall. And for the wall, and I chose this one, like the marble together with the wood. It's like the single wooden bars. So I will use this one as an example. It's a little bit complicated, but it's also easy to learn. So let's see how to get a background wall for the last one. Okay, so these are the main contents of today, and we will take a look at the first one. Step with the light strip for picture 1. So in order to make a design, we will first go to our design tool. Okay, so all right, I will use this room as an example. So because you can see here from the door, when you enter to the room, there is a little space for you to maybe to change your shoes or whatever, right? So when you go inside, that is the main living room. So we can try to make a step here to divide the entrance part and the living room part. Okay, so I will use this one as example. And how to make the floor design. First, let me hide all the furniture, so it will be easier for us to see. So I will hide the floor furniture, right? So you can hide the furniture if you want to do some designs that can give you a better view of it. But for complex designing of the construction part, you will go to the 3D view, and then when you click on the floor, you can actually go to the floor editor. And later when we do the ceiling design, you see here we have the ceiling editor. And of course we have the wall editor. So that's why you can go to the different places to do more designs of it. So for the first one, let's go to the floor editor. Okay, so now let's see here, we are in the floor editor, and you can, on the big screen, you can only see the floor part, but from the 3D view, you can also check how it looks like. So this will be very easy for you to see how the design goes, right? Okay, so the first step to get the floor with two different textures, we need to divide the room into two parts. And we have the line, we have the curve, we have the rectangle, and we have the circle. So these four are something that can help you to draw different shapes, not only for the floor, but also for the wall and for the ceiling, if you have some unique design. But I think this one here is very easy. We can just simply use a line. We can try to get a line like this, right? So you see, now we simply divided the room into two parts. And if you think I just draw like this, maybe sometimes it's not very accurate. So you can also check here. The length is 2916, right? So you can add a guideline to help you go from here, 2916, right? So now we have a guideline. And if you're worried that you cannot get the line very straight or very accurate, you can use the guideline and you can follow it. You see, so now you get a perfect line and you divided the room into two parts, right? Okay, so the next one, let's see, we will try to get some different floorings for them. So you can go here and try to find the one you like. I think from the picture, we have one darker for the bigger part and a lighter one for the small part, right? So I will just get some random ones, maybe this one. Okay, so you see, when I drag and drop, it will only apply to the shape here, not to the whole room. Okay. No, so if you don't like it, we can also change to another one. And the light one for this part. Okay, so this is how you get one room with different floorings. And if you click on it, you can actually go to pave editing for the big part, small part as well. So for the pave editing, we can do some other changes. Okay, so this is only for the bigger part. And here you can see, you can choose where you want the first piece of the flooring to start. Maybe from the top left, or from the top right, from the bottom, or from the center. So you can check, right? And you can also get the offset horizontally or vertically. So you see it's moving. And the angle, of course, you can change. See, like this. Right. And you can also change different floor scheme, how you want to pave the floor. If I choose this one, you see, it changed the way how it paves. But the material, the texture changed as well, but it doesn't matter. So if you, I suggest you can choose the paving scheme first, okay? You can choose the paving scheme first, and then you can change the texture of it. So here, let me see, let's go here. I can get a darker one. Maybe not exactly the same one I have found before because I don't remember which one it is. How about this one? So it will change, you see? So you can choose the paving scheme first and then change the texture. You can also get it a gap, false gap or real gap. Let me make it a little bit bigger so you can see easily. And you can change the color of the gap. So you see? Maybe even more. It's not very easy for you guys to see. Let's get 6. So now you can see better gaps, right? But in the real situation, you don't have to get the gap this big. I'm just here for you to see clearly. So you can change the gap, and also you can change the color of the gap. And you can also change the size of the single piece of the flooring. So maybe I will make it a little bit bigger, 500. You see, single piece get bigger, right? So that is for the changing of it. And you can also change to a different material if you don't like this one. And if you want to make some editing for the small part, that will be the same. You can go to pave editing, and here you can find all the different things, right? All the things from here, floor scheme, right? Okay, all right, so that is for the different paving and also the paving editor. But now you can see, even if we turned this room into two parts with two different floorings, but they are still on the same level, we cannot see the step. And we will try to make a step here, make the bigger part a little bit higher, right? So how to do this one? I don't know if you have noticed, for each of the part, we have the extrusion. So here is something you can change. You can make the change. I want the bigger part to be higher, so I will set extrusion 200. You see, now you get a step, right? Now you get a step. So even if you want to make more steps here, that is also possible. We will just draw different shapes. Okay, one step, two steps. Okay, so let's try to get it like this. And I will set them with different extrusion. So this one, 150, and this one, 300, and this one, the highest, 450. Now you will get 3 steps. You see? You can get 3 steps, right? But today, we don't need 3 steps. I will just undo, we'll leave 1 step only with 200, okay? All right, so let me see, I see there is one question. I had a problem with the paving scheme. When I want to change its color pattern, they are limited. Per scheme, I want something from square paving to be applied to the fishbone one, but it is not the fishbone. You can first change the scheme and then you change the texture. So if you change the texture first, later when you swap the scheme, it may change into another texture. This is just something also bothering me, but first choose the scheme, first choose the paving scheme, and then change the texture. That will be better, okay? Yeah. All right, so let's continue. So now we have the step, but you can see here on this part, it's still blank, it's still white. And we want to paint this part here with the same material as the smaller part. So we will try to get it a lighter paint here for this part. And also I want to get a light strip so it will look better. So for the elevated part, you can just simply click on the line. And here you see elevation, you can edit it, okay? But when you go here, you just need to find the same material we did just now. It seems difficult because I don't remember, right? So let me get you an easy way. You click on this small part, and here you can find the information about it. You can search by the name, but an easier way is that you can add it to favorites. Okay, so add it to favorites. And when I click on the line, edit the elevation part, I will go to my account. And here, the favorite, it will show you the latest one you just added to your favorite. So it will be very easy for me to find it, right? Okay, so now let's check. You see, this part is not blank anymore. So whenever you have an elevation part, you just click on the line and edit here, elevation. So you can change. And also from clicking on the line, you can also get a LED strip here. You can even change the brightness and the color, right? And when you, I think it's difficult to see, but when you add a light strip, the line is not black. The line will turn to yellow. So that means you get a light strip. Okay, you see it's here under the cover, right? And if you don't like this cover, it's called light trough here. The light trough. So if you don't like it, you can also untick it. So now we don't have the light trough, only the light strip here with this yellow line. That is a light. So that one depends on you if you need it or not, this one, okay? All right, so now I think we got everything we need to do. Let's go to the 3D view and take a look. All right, here it is. See, when we get to the 3D view, you can clearly see the gap is too much, right? So don't get it this big. And also the single piece of the floor is also too big. But anyway, this is how we do it, right? You see? Okay, so let's go back to our slides and have a little review. In order to get a step with the last strip, what are the main steps to do it? So the first one, you need to divide the area. So divide the room into 2 different sections. You can use a line or you can use a rectangle to help you to draw the shape. And then we can set the step height by giving a number to the extrusion. So the one with the extrusion will be the higher part. So that's how you get the step. And then we can choose 2 different materials for the 2 parts and different paving or different patterns. And then you can edit the elevation part and the last strip just by simply clicking on the line, right? Okay, so I think that is for the first one. And if you have any questions, you can keep asking, leave me a message, or you can turn on your microphone now, it's fine. So when we finish each of the case, you guys can raise me some questions. And if you don't have any questions, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, great. So next one is also for the floor. So we will also go to the floor editing, the floor editor. But this time we don't use the wooden floor. We use the tile together with the wave line. So how to add the wave line? I see, I don't know in other countries, but in China, most of the family will have a room with the wave line. For the living room or for the kitchen, it's very popular. So let's go to the 2. See. So this time I will use a different project. How about this one? Living room. So we will use this one and to show you how to pave the tile. So first, let's also go to the floor editor. Okay, so because for this one, we would do a lot of paving editing, I will directly go to the pave editing part. Okay, so from here, first I will draw 2 rectangles. That's where we will add the wave line. Okay, so first you can draw the first rectangle and change the position of it. I want it to be 500 to each size. Okay. And for this part, you can also leave more space because there is a window, there will be the space for the curtains, right? I will leave it 700, 200 for the curtain parts, but that one depends. So you can place this rectangle according to the design of the room, right? Okay, so that is the first shape where I want to add the wave line, and then I will draw another one because there are 2 wave lines, right? So this one, let's get 600 to each side. Okay, all right. So now we get the first shape finished. I will hide the numbers. Okay, too many numbers, I don't want to see them. Okay, so next one, you can also choose a tile scheme and the texture for the tile. So for the floor, we have only 5 options. And for the tile, you can see there are a lot more because the tile schemes are more complicated. And sometimes you don't just use one. You may use like this one. We have 2 different types of tiles. Oh, this one, sometimes 3 or 4, so even more, right? So you can choose different paving scheme, but I think I will just use the simple one because we have only 1 tile, right? We don't need more tiles. 1 second, where is it? I think I lost the simplest one with only 1 tile. Where is it?
Hello.
Okay, maybe this one, right? So you can drag it. It will give you a default tile, but if you don't like it, you can also change. And you can see it's the same as the wooden floor. You can choose different paving scheme. You can choose where you want to start to pave. You can do the offside, the angle. You can give it a gap, right? I will also make a big gap so you can see clearly the difference. All right, like this, see? Okay, and what's next? So I will choose a different one. So let me see. Something also with the light color. How about this one? That is the wood. Is it the wood? Okay, maybe this one. I will choose this one. Okay, all right. So where is the gap? I want to get a bigger gap. Okay, all right. So from the picture, we can see the 3 different sections are with the same tile, right? So you don't have to do the scheme, the tile 1 more time. You can simply use the material brush. Okay. You see, so all the 3 different parts are with the same textures. All right, so the next we can add some wave lines. So by adding the wave line, you can go here, common accessory, and here you will find the wave line with 2 different types. One is with the angle like this, one is with a square. So maybe we can choose this one. You just drag and drop, so you get a wave line like this. And you can also click it to change the size or to change to another one. So you can choose a different texture for it. Oh, here we have some recommendations. You can also go with these ones. I think this one looks very similar to the one in the picture. So I will change to this one, you see? Now you get the wave line, right? So you can go to common accessory wave line and drag and drop. This is one way to do the wave line. Another way is click on the shape. So when you click on the shape, there is one more toolbar. And from here, we also have the whole wave is wired. You see, this is the second way you can get a wave line. So for adding the wave line, you have 2 ways. Common accessory wave line or this one, the whole wave is wired. And we can also use a material brush to get it the same. You see, right? Okay, so now this is how you add the wave line. But from now, I think most of you guys may think we have finished the second case, but I want you to take a look. Is there anything you want to improve? So is this a good design? And one tip, pay attention to the gap. So if I have the paving like this, does it look good? Okay, so you can see the gaps clearly. They are not on the same line. So if I pave like this, it doesn't look very good. In order to make it look better, we can try to fix the gap. Try to get the gaps on the same line vertically and horizontally, right? So for this one, there is an easy way. You can just click on the first shape, and we have the second one is called gap snapping. And you can just simply use the smart pair seams. Click on this one, 1 and 2. So you click one tile on the first shape and another tile inside, and they will be automatically snapped. You see, vertically 1 line, horizontally also 1 line. That is for the smart pair. So if you don't want to do this one, we can also do the manual pair, but the manual one is very complicated. So for the manual, you have to do like this, drag it to the other line, you see? You have to drag it to the other line. Okay, 1 second, didn't get it. You have to drag it one by one, okay? So sometimes it will take you more time to do that. So don't use the manual one, just use the smart one. It's very easy. With 2 clicks, you can get all the gaps on the one line. Okay, so now let's go back to look. You see? Because I leave some space for the curtains and the shape still seem to be in the middle of it. But as I said, the gap is only for you to see clearly. In the real case, you don't want a gap like this big, right? Okay, so this is for the second case. And let's go back to our slides. How to get the tile and the wave line. So to pave the tile is just like to pave the wooden floor. It will be the same. All the pave editing, all the functions are the same. And first thing, you can divide the area, but this time we don't need different floorings. We just need the area as a reference to show us where we can add the wave line, right? And then you can choose the paving, the pattern, and all the same materials. You don't have to apply multiple times. You can use material brush to help you, right? To brush. And then you can add the wave line. For the wave line, we have 2 ways you can get it. First way, you can go to common accessory wave line. The second one, you click on the shape. There will be 1 more toolbar popped out, and you can click on the whole wave is wired. And then the last one, don't forget to do the gap snapping. Try to make them look a little bit better. You can get all the gaps on the same line. Okay, so that is for the second one. And now we have finished 1 and 2, all about the floor editing. And let's see if you guys have questions. You can keep leaving me a message in the chat box. Okay, so that is for the floor part. If you don't have questions, we will move on to the ceiling. All right, okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so this one is for the suspended ceiling. And for the ceiling, since you already have the experience of how to do the floor design, I think this one won't be a problem for you guys. So the first step will also be to draw the shape, right? So we can easily draw a rectangle. It's very easy. I think the only difficult part is how to draw the shape in the middle because it doesn't look like a rectangle, right? Without these 4 angles, and how to draw a shape like this. And this is the problem we'll try to figure out. And another thing is how to get the ceiling suspended. This is just like how you make the steps, the steps on the floor. You can also use the extrusion to set the 3 parts with different levels. Okay, so let's go to our and see how to do the ceiling design. All right, we will just use this one. Okay, so let's go to the ceiling. Click on the ceiling and we can go to the ceiling editor. Just like the floor editor, you can only see the ceiling part this time. See the ceiling part. And here the 3D view, you can see everything. All right, so first let's draw a rectangle. That is for the first shape, right? How about 600 each side? And this part I will leave more also for the curtains. Okay, that is the first shape. And the second shape, how to draw it. You can draw with a line. Okay, you can draw with a line like this. But it will be a little bit difficult you have to calculate carefully about the size of each part, right? So you can draw like this, but you have to calculate carefully. So that doesn't sound like a good idea. But you can also draw a rectangle. I think this way is easier. Like this, and then we can delete the unnecessary line. So you see, you get a shape. You just have to cut all the other three, right? So that is another way. This one is also useful, especially when you do some wall designs. If you need a lot of different shapes, some of the shapes are covered each other, and you can also delete some unnecessary lines. So that is another way. But I want to show you one more. Okay, one more easy way. Okay, so first of all, we will also draw a rectangle, but this time you can use, here we have another one called offset. So offset can help you to get a scaled shape like the one you already have. Because here we have one rectangle already, right? So I want to get exactly same rectangle, but smaller or bigger. So you can use offset. And you can just enter the number one time, 500 to each side. Do you see? 500. You don't have to adjust the position 4 times. You just enter the number one time. So that is how you use the offset function. Okay, so this is the first step to get a exactly scaled rectangle, but with a smaller size. And the second one, you don't have to cut the angles one by one. Click on the shape. Here we have another function called chamfer. So chamfer here offers you 4 different ways to cut off the angles. And let's try one by one. The first one, see, you can cut the angles like this, right? And the second one is like this. And you can decide how big or how small you want it to be. And the second one, I think this is the one we need today, like this. And the last one is like this. You cut off a triangle, right? So chamfer is an easy way for you to cut off the angles, and we have 4 different options you can choose. If these 4 cannot meet your needs, you can also use line, curve, rectangle, or circle to help you to get the shape you want and delete the unnecessary lines. Okay, so let's get this one. And you can also decide to choose the number, maybe 500, that is the radius, and how big I want to cut off the angles. Okay, like this. And hide the line, hide the numbers. So now we have the basic shape done. And the next is to set the extrusion. And the bigger part, the outer part is the highest. So I will give it a 400. And this one, 200. And the one in the middle is 0. So let's see now. The 3D view. You already get the suspended ceiling. You have the basic shape, right? Okay, that is the basic shape. Okay, so next, I think I will get some paintings for them, or maybe some moldings first. So here, let's get some moldings. And for most of the ceiling design, you will see the moldings, right? So we can go here to find some, maybe this one. So you can just drag and drop. This one will be with the molding, you see? If you look closer, you can see it there, right? And let's get another one for this outside part. And you can also decide how big you want the molding is. So click on this line, click on the line, and you can go to section edit. Here you will see the molding. If you want it to be bigger, you see, you can change the size of the molding. Maybe 25. And you can see the molding on that part is bigger than the other parts. See, it's bigger, right? This one I think is not easy for you guys to see. Let me change to a different color. You can see better. This one, right? So now you can see the molding, right? And I will change one side bigger. I will change this side bigger only, so you can see the difference. 50. Okay, so now let's check the difference. You can see this part is thicker than the other part, right? So you can change the different molding. You can change the size of the molding. Can we put some lights inside the moldings? Yes, I was just about to talk about the light. Okay, so let me get back to the white molding because this brown one is not good. Okay, so for the LED strip, that will be the same. You can click on the line, and here, just like the steps, you can get the LED strip. You can change the brightness, you can change the color, and now you can see the difference. When you add the light strip, the color turns to yellow, and the other 3 sides are still black. Okay, so click on the line, make a duplicate to the other 3 lines. And now we have all these 4 lines with the LED strip. Okay, so you can add moldings, you can add LED strip. For the moldings, drag and drop. For the LED strip, click on the line and get it here. Okay, all right, so that is for this one. And let me see what's next. Let me see the picture one more time. So from the picture, we can see the middle part is the paint, but these 2 parts are with the gusset plates. I don't know if this material is popular in your countries. This is something like is water and electricity proof. So most of the time you've seen them used in the kitchen and bathroom sometimes, okay? But here I want to show you how to pave the gusset plate. It's a little bit different from the floor, but similar, very similar, okay? So we can go to the gusset plates here. Let me choose a bigger size. How about I will use this pink one as example because you can see the difference. And later I will change to a white one, okay? Okay, so let's choose the pink one. You get not for the whole area, but you have only one, you see? And you have to pave them to the whole area. And get 1 plate, click on it. We have drag to pave and also tessellation. So for drag to pave, you pave only 1 line. You have to do the other 3 lines as well. But tessellation is very easy. You see? You get it for the whole area. So I suggest you can just use the tessellation. It's very easy for you to pave the whole area. All right, so let's choose this one, the white one. I will use tessellation for the whole area. And for this one is the same. Also tessellation, whole one, right? And for the paint, that will be very easier. Let me get a white color. Okay, this one for the middle part. See? So now we get all the 3 parts painted. And the next, let's get some lights. I will first choose a chandelier in the middle. So that will be easy. How about this one? So you can just drag it to the center. When you get to the center, the guideline will help you to find the middle point. So you see, I don't have to manually adjust the position. When you drag it to the center, the guideline will show you. So that is very smart. The one little problem is for the downlights. So for the chandelier, it's easier for you to find the middle. But for the downlights, they are very small, right? So they are very small. You see, it's very small. And if I need to place 4 on this side, another 4 on this side, I have to change the position again and again. So that will take me a long time. And for everything you feel is difficult or complicated, there is always an easier way to help you. So you just need to place the first downlight and then click on it. Here we have the array function. So array will help you to decide. You can choose the spacing, okay, spacing, or you can choose the quantity. For X axis, let's get 2. And for Y axis, let's get 4. Do you see? Now I have 4 lines on 2 lines, and they are always equal spacing. I just need to decide where the first one is, and then it can help me for the other ones. If you use the spacing, that will be the same. So for the X axis, I want the spacing to be 3. No, maybe 4, because I don't remember the size of the room. Okay, for 4,100, right, like this. And for the Y axis, let's get it 500. Oh, 500 is too much. 1,000. Okay, so like this. You see? You can place the lights. So that one depends. For the spacing, I think you really need to calculate the size in advance. But for the quantity, that will be very easier. So you can just choose the quantity of it. Okay, so that is for the ceiling. And let's go back to see. Okay, here it is. A very beautiful suspended ceiling you just made. And you can use all the functions to do all the different designs as you wish. All right. Okay, so that is the third one, actually. All right, so let's have a little review. Divide the area, that is the first one, to draw the shapes as you wish. And you can use the guideline, you can use a rectangle, you can use offset, you can use chamfer. Some little functions to help your design fast and easy. And then you can set the extrusion to make them into different levels. And you can add the light strip and the moldings. For the moldings, just drag and drop. For the light strip, click on the line. And if you want to edit the size of the molding, you can also click on the line, right? And the next one, to add the gusset plates and the paints for different areas. And the last one, don't forget for the downlights. Array function is very useful to help you to place them one by one. All right, so that is for the ceiling. And guys, any questions for this part? All right, let's move on to the last one. So last one is for the wall design, right? For the wall design. So for this one, you can see here, first we can divide the wall into 2 parts, right? One part with the marble, one part with the wood, right? The only difficult part is the wood part. So you can see they are actually with different single wooden bars. And one is higher, one is lower, so they are not on the same level, right? And I see this design a lot of times in different places. It seems very popular and also is a little bit difficult. That's why we chose this one. But let's see how to do this one with Coohom too. Okay, how about we use this, the first project? It got stuck. Okay. So we'll use the first project, and how about this side of the wall as example? I will get the TV set with the marble stone and the other part with the wood. So let's go to the wall editor. Okay, here it is. All right, so let's see, I will just use a rectangle. That will be easier for me. How about I leave this part 4,000. Okay, so 4,000. See, 4,000, okay. Maybe 3,500. Okay, so enough space for the TV, right? For the TV, okay. And for the real situation, you need to think about the space for the ceiling, for the baseboard, for the curtains, or if you have a very high wardrobe. So don't forget to leave the space for them. But here we don't have any ceiling designs or the baseboard. So I can just simply draw the shape like this. So the first, I think we'll do the easy part. Let's get the marble, okay? And you can also see the marble part is actually a little bit out of the wall. So I will give it a 100 extrusion, this part a little bit higher. And we can just simply get a stone, maybe this one, to this part, right? And for the elevation part, you can also click on the line and the elevation part with the same stone. I think I just missed it. Okay, this one. Right, so that is for the stone part. You see the surface and the elevation part. It's very easy. And the difficult part is for the wood part. So for the wood part, actually in our public library, there are some options. So you can find some here, wainscot. So from this category, you can find something very similar to the one we have in the picture, like this one. Oh, this one, you see? So you can drag them, but the problem is it's very big. You have to adjust the size carefully to the size you have here. And when you're adjusting the size, sometimes you will find the patterns get a little bit different. So it will be dragged not like evenly. Okay, this one is fine, but if you choose this one, you see, if you change the size, you can see the pattern doesn't look very good, right? So you can use the one in here if you want to do it in a faster way, but you can also do the design by yourself. So I will show you how to do the design. We can simply draw the little symbols one by one. Okay, so I will use the rectangle to draw the first one. Let's make it very thin, 50. Okay, that is the first bar. And another one. Also 50. Okay, so we have 2 bars, right? And in order to make them look like they are on the different level, one is out, one is back. So I will set the second extrusion 50. Okay, so the first one is on the surface. The second one is actually out of the wall. And then I will give them some material. How about the first one? This one, okay. You see? And don't forget the elevation part. This part. Okay, and I will copy to here, here, here. And also the top. Because this is very small, so sometimes it's easier to miss. And it's better to check. Okay, yes, and this part, yes. Okay, all right. So now you just have these 2 thin bar done. The difficult part is all the, how do we say, the safety part. the safety way to do it, you can just keep drawing until to the end, right? But that will take you very, very long time. And here, another easy way to do it is you can click Shift on your keyboard to select these two bars. So every time you want to select two or more than two things, click Shift, and then you can select more things. So now we have selected these two bars, and you can use the array function, drag to the end. So this time we don't have to set the spacing or the quantity because we want them to be next to each other. Okay, so it's very easy, and you can check. You can see the different levels, right? One is on the surface, one is out of the wall. Let's go back to the 3D view. I think you can see better. All right, here it is. So you can clearly see they are on the different levels with the little thin bars. If I go to this side, you can see better. You see? All from this angle, right? So this is how you draw them, right? So sometimes I even see them with different styles, like half here and a little bit there and marble down. So the only difficult part is to draw the shape first, draw the correct shape first, and then for all the designs, you can actually draw and make by yourself, right? So that is the last design we want to share today. And let's have a little review for this one. First, we draw the wall into two parts. And if for the real situation, you don't need to, you don't forget to leave the space for the curtains, for the ceiling. Like this one, we have the suspended ceiling. So you can leave some space for the ceiling, baseboard, or whatever. And then set the extrusion for the marble part. Add the material, the marble, added the elevation, don't let it to be empty. And then we can draw the wooden bars. First one, second one with the extrusion, draw two different ones, right? And then you can follow this pattern to use array and drag them until to the end of it. Okay, all right, so I think this is for my last one. And let's see if you guys have more questions for the design. And I really hope that you can have a try afterwards, not with the exactly same design, but with different designs. Try to think about what functions we have introduced that you can use for different designs and how to make them. Even if you have any questions or you have any problems, you are welcome to contact us, and we will try to help you to solve your problem. Okay, so guys, any questions? I think there are still 2 minutes left. And now is your time to read the questions, or at least if you have the review link, the feedback link, I think you can also sign them to the chat box.
Yeah, thank you, Holly. Yes, now guys, I will share this link in the chatting pod, and please click it and share your feedback for that. Thank you.